With the return of Cache in CS2, today boys, I have 30 of the best tips to absolutely dominate on the new version of Cache. Let's go. On CT side, if you want to play aggressive B, run up heaven, and when you drop down, you want to make sure you're not jumping, because otherwise you're actually going to take some damage. Not ideal. And then you can just hold this with an op. You can even push a little bit deeper into checkers, hold this angle, push up even more. There's just a lot of ways to play around this position. Just watch out for vents. Here's a really easy way to smoke off Z from spawn. So get in this position at the beginning of the crosswalk, aim at the top of the building, and then just running jump throw. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. As long as you don't mess it up, it'll always block off Z, which makes it so much easier to take mid control. Unless they have a nade. On CT, this is quite possibly the most important smoke you need to know. So hug the right side of this door like so, aim above the door right where this pipe is, and then just simply throw. It'll block off like the mid entrance for the T's, making it a lot scarier for them to push out. And while you have that smoke up, you can also hop up on these boxes, get up here on this rail, and then do a running strafe jump to the left to get on top of this radiator, give yourself a little bit of space, and do the same thing onto this radiator, and you can get up on top of jump up, and this is just a really powerful position. But if you want to be in a powerful position skins wise, check out our sponsor Skins Monkey. Got a Steam inventory full of trash tier skins you never use? This video is sponsored by Skins Monkey, the fastest and easiest way to turn your junk into some fresh new play skins. Connect your Steam account, select the skins you want to trade. You can also use code TURBO to claim up to a $5 bonus. They have a massive selection of skins and plenty of options to deposit. Code TURBO gets you an extra 5%. There's also freebies where you can enter giveaways and 24/7 live support if you run into any issues. Check out my Skins Monkey link down below to support the channel. If you want to go up the ladder sideways, instead of just holding Shift and W and going forward, hold W and A or W and D, and you want to go up sideways because you go up so much faster silently. If you don't mind making noise, you can do it without crouching and get up so much faster. Super simply execute. So outside of squeaky, get in this corner. This is the easiest smoke. You just aim at the corner of this and then just simply throw. Second one, line your crosshair up around where this line is, but move it a little bit to the left to where you're not going to hit anything, and then just left click throw. These two smokes are very simple, but they're also very strong for denying info. Then your teammates A main can molly quad and ultimately push site and get the bomb down. But obviously you're not going to want to do that without a flash. So here's the best one. So move a little bit to the left, use this rust on the center of this little window frame, and then just jumping throw. And this will pretty much flash almost anybody on site. Now there are a couple exceptions. This flash plus the util will make it so much easier to take A. But what do you do if you have nobody squeaky? So you stand right around here, aim for the center of the box, and then just running throw. There's some situations where this can come in handy, or if you're solo queuing, this is a must. Speaking of which, if the door is opened this way facing site, hop up here, and then running strafe onto the door. It's a little tricky, and then strafe jump up here. And this is Shroud. It's definitely a lot better on CT side when you know they're coming A main. Later in the round, if you think they might be coming from truck, you can hold this as like an off angle, but they might notice you. They also remove the lamp and anything else you can clip on above the door. If you think there's someone holding A main like fairly wide, as you're pushing in, you can just running jump throw, right click a flash. This is definitely a little bit tricky to get just right, so it's definitely something you want to practice with, but just right click, jumping, flash yourself in as you peek. And it can make it a lot easier if there's someone playing close. Depending on the angle they're playing, it might not necessarily be that useful, but if they're playing wide like right here, they'll get full flashed. And if you get the timing just right, you can hit them with the insta pop flash where they just don't really have time to react. If you're hiding in this corner, just be aware. So this part of the wall isn't really wall bangable, like maybe if you have like an op, but if you have an AK, you have to just spray through the door. So if there's anyone in the corner, you can just kind of spray like that. You can even spray anybody in vents or even just anybody checkers. It's a good wall bang. So this is a piece of utility I used to do all the time. Grab yourself a nade, and then you can just throw a deep nade like so. If they're like just chilling right here, getting ready to push in, you can get some early nade damage. If they're in this spot and they peek it, they will spot you. As you jump down, you can just go in with a flash, and you can pop flash yourself in as you're peeking. Try to take a little bit more space. Cache is a very interesting map layout wise. Obviously, mid control is very important, but there's only like 2 choke points where you can really hold it down. But you also want B main control as well. If you want to smoke off A main to prevent an execute, get behind this truck, aim right here where this little edge is, aim at the corner of that, and then throw. You can make sure you smoke it off. Now, you don't always want to throw this immediately. You only want to throw it if there's signs that they're going to be doing an execute. Because if they don't immediately push with the smokes, you still have time to rotate back to site and ultimately hold it down a little bit better. There are a lot of like really interesting movement. If you jump up to E-box, you can kind of like jump like so and get up to scaffolding a little bit easier. And this is a really strong spot to hold, but just keep in mind that if they push out squeaky door, you are a sitting duck. Speaking of squeaky door though, unfortunately, I don't actually have someone to like help me with this, but if you have a teammate looking down, sitting in front of the door and you open it, it'll actually open up backwards. So this can actually open up so many different opportunities to get different angles, but you can also peek onto site from here. And if you want, I mean, it's a little risky, but you can molly off the site and then push in with the team. If you open it this way, you can only peek toxic and you can't really peek site until you fully commit to the push. The same thing happens if there's a chicken. And this is one of the only doors in Counter-Strike. I mean, I think it's the only one in CS2 that can't be blown up. This entire part is completely reinforced, but anything over here is spammable, with maybe a couple exceptions. Sandbags is definitely a really strong position to hold down mid, but you do need to keep in mind though, they can come from above. They can push up from there. They can push up just straight up through mid. And on top of that too, it's really easy, because that was the worst Molotov ever. It's really easy to just bank a Molotov off and just burn everything in this corner. So if you're playing sandbags, you absolutely need to throw a smoke. You can even throw it like this, hop on the sandbags, and you can get an off angle to deal with anybody pushing up or anybody on boost. Vents is very annoying to deal with, especially on the CT side, but you actually can hop up top. So if you crouch, you can actually boost your teammate into vents. And if you don't make any noise in the process, you can absolutely catch the T's off guard as you're pushing up. Make sure to clear all the angles though. And if they plant A, it's by far one of the quickest ways to rotate to go for the retake. Another interesting thing is if you do the jump, you can actually jump up here as well and get a slightly different off angle that they might not necessarily expect. And this is a tip on what not to do. I've seen this all too often where someone on the CT side will smoke this off, which is probably one of the worst things you can absolutely do on CT side. I mean, it's pretty much the same idea with like Anubis, because if you smoke this off, you're basically giving them free reign. Also, there's different angles where they can maybe get a frag, but you're giving them free reign to gain full control of checkers. And once they have checkers control, they can just double peek and there's nothing you can really do. Now, if you do want to throw a good smoke and you just have to kind of like chuck this randomly, there's not really a lot of like finesse with it, and you're going to be able to hold this and they're not going to gain checkers control. You can hop up on this box and you can clear with like a slightly different angle. Although if they're in this specific spot, like that's the ultimate way to counter it. Here's some really useful util for taking B. It's really simple. Get in this corner and then you want to aim above this broken tile right where this line is, left and right click and jump throw. It'll always land in the center of tree room every time. Exact same corner. Aim like shown and left click a molly. Okay, you want to throw it where it intersects the wall. Otherwise, it's not going to land. It'll molly anybody back of sight. And if you have an additional molly, you can also move a little bit to the right, aim kind of like where this line meets this line, but down just slightly, and it'll bounce off, and burn anyone in this corner. But don't worry, I got you with even more utility. Walk back here behind this box, and then do you see where this little like rust mark is? You want to bring it down just a little bit to where this line meets, and then just jump throw. And this will molly anybody playing headshot. So this is really good if you want to flash yourself out squeaky. Look at the opposite wall, running throw it at the wall, open the door and close it. Timing is super important. Running through a flash and peek in with it. On T side, I mean, it's like the most obvious thing, but if you crouch, you can actually boost your teammates up here onto jump up. If you're playing this angle though, just be very careful with like all the angles you push, because if you just jump up here, you are open to so many different angles. So play slowly and deliberately and see if they can make a mistake first. And of course you can jump like so to maybe peek them in a way where they're not going to be ready for it. If you're in a retake scenario and you think they're probably planting, now you can peek for info, but if you want to deny a plant, just crouch behind here, aim at the satellite dish, and then throw. It's not always going to be perfect all the time, but if they are planting at that very moment, you can either get some damage done or even deny the plant. So this can be especially useful if there's only a couple seconds left. As long as you're between the side view mirror and not visible, this lineup will work pretty well. Anyways, hope this video helped. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe with the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's Turbo, and I'm out. Peace!